Hi, hello, and welcome back to another, I was about to say knitting podcast, but today we are talking about fall knitting inspiration because I am not done with fall yet. And I have a very long Ravelry queue, which I've been chipping away at, but there's so much stuff that I would want to knit. And I just do not have the time for, so I'm gonna be providing them to you in the hopes that you have the time to make them. Also, I'm kind of cold today. I got tea in my fake Stanley cup. I love it. Also, let me announce what I'm wearing. This is my Valerie blouse by Petite Knit. It's her newest pattern, and I just finished this a few days ago because I ran out of yarn. Like up to here, this is hand-dyed sock yarn, and the lady who makes that yarn, she only makes one of colorways, and I only got 2 skeins, so for 800 meters. And I ran out, so I had to do some problem solving. But if you're here for that kind of drama, check out my Instagram because you're gonna find the whole saga over there. But okay, let us get into the knitting patterns. I feel very chaotic again today. So I have my iPad here with Ravelry, and I just went into my bundle that I made for this video, and it had me wondering, was I drunk when I made this? I'm not drunk very often. I don't drink very much, but that's the only explanation that I have because there's some stuff in there that I don't like. I don't know what I was thinking. So, yeah, I guess let's start with the things that I do like. The first pattern is the Velvety Cardigan by Gregoria Fibers, and I believe this is a re-release of a pattern that she had already published at some point, but like for some reason I'm obsessed with marled yarns, specifically black and white marled yarns. I do not know why. I'm just really drawn to them. So I should probably knit something with a yarn like that at some point. And that's probably also what drew me to this cardigan. It's just so beautiful. I love that it has the marling and then also the texture. Because if you've knit a stockinette cardigan, then you know how tedious that can be. And I personally find that having a bit of texture in the cardigan really breaks it up and makes it nicer to knit. This doesn't have very many projects, but if it's knit in one color, it's just a very ordinary looking cardigan. So I think it does need the marling. That makes it just so much better. Although it is also kind of nice in red. I believe this is a broken rib pattern. But yeah, I would really love to make this. I think I'm gonna have to make this next year. It's just so nice. Oh my fucking god! Okay, the next thing you have already seen, I'm pretty sure. It's the sheep sweater by Rosa Pomar. And so usually I'm more into simpler things and simpler patterns. So the Lady Diana sheep sweater would appear like the better choice for me. But for some reason, these little baby sheep in between the adult ones, they have me in a chokehold. This is so beautiful. I love it so much. And also I love that the sheep are speckled. They have little like stitches in the contrast color in them. I'm assuming that's because of the floats, and that is very smart. I like smart things. So this one already has its spot in my queue, and I will be making this next year. But like obviously it's a it's an all year round sweater, except maybe like August. But also we have an accessory. In one of my last videos, I think I talked about Harold, the little chubby mouse, and I found a spooky equivalent. It's just called Colorwork Halloween Witch by Amy Munson. I'm gonna be linking the bundle down below, by the way, if you want to have a look at that. But it's little witches with hats and scarves, and they have colorwork bodies, and they're so sweet. They're so cute. I'm not really into Halloween, but these are so cute. Also, imagine you just made a Christmas witch and an Easter witch and a summer witch. That would be very funny, just for seasonal witches. Then we have one of the patterns that I don't like. I don't hate it, but I cannot remember why I put this there. It's a free mitten pattern. They're the Stanford mittens. And I like the color combination, but the garter stripes on the thumb, they remind me of what the back of a dragon or a lizard might look like. Like their weird, scaly limbs. That's making me uncomfortable. Why did I put this in here? But if you like them, I guess there you go. Also, the next one, I don't know. Like, why? This is a very simple pattern. I'm not usually into super simple patterns. But I put the garden pullover in there, and like the, what's it even called? The cleavage at the back. I don't think that's what you call it. But the big collar at the back, it looks very nice. But to me, it feels very impractical. Like your back is gonna be cold. You're gonna be freezing at the office, in your home, outside. I really have no idea why I put this there, but it's a free pattern and it seems fairly size inclusive. It goes up to 4XL, which I guess that's nice. Not sure what the 4XL actually is though, but it's free. Then we have one that I actually do like. I was in my right mind as I put this on there. So this is the Josephine sweater. I've made the basket weave vest by Studio Clara, and I really enjoyed making this because it's just knits and purls, but it's not getting boring because you're always alternating. And this is also this checkered kind of sweater, but it has moss stitch and stockinette. So that's cool. I also like that the squares are a little bigger and not as small as on the basket weave patterns usually. The next one is kind of a highlight for me, and it's not even a fall pattern. It's a t-shirt pattern. But I've been looking for asymmetric patterns both for sewing and for knitting because I find that when I wear normal sneakers and a normal shaped top or sweater, I feel like an NPC. That's a me problem. I don't think other people are looking like NPCs. But that's the reason why I got my tabbies, because they're making me feel less like an NPC. And that's the reason I want to get more into asymmetrical tops. And I have found some sewing patterns. I'm not super comfortable with self-drafting in sewing because so much can go wrong. I feel like less can go wrong in ribbing. Less can go wrong in knitting, and you can always rip this stuff out if it's not working out. I don't know why I'm being so chaotic today. I think I need to lie down next to the ocean somewhere for at least a month. But yes, I love this asymmetrical design. I love how they're playing with colors, with the stranded colorwork on top and then all of the contrast blocking on the bottom. And the sleeves, they look very simple. So I'm pretty sure you could make this just with long sleeves. And it would probably also look cool if you made it just in one single color. What might make it difficult to make though is that it is published in a magazine and it's not available online. And I personally, I don't think I would know immediately how to self-draft this. But I just love this so much, I might go hunting for the magazine. Okay, next up, we have something that is also quite unique. It's called Sleeve Island, and I think that's so funny. It's a sweater that's just sleeves. It's stranded colorwork, and the sweater is knit sideways. You start at one cuff, and then you work the sleeve, then you do the body, and then you go down the other sleeve. I think that's so cool. And what I don't love is that through this method of constructing it, it's becoming batwing shaped. But I do feel like if you didn't do as many increases towards the armpit, and then you just did a backwards loop cast on to transition into the body, it wouldn't be as batwing shaped. So I might try that. I've seen people make sweaters in 2 shades of yellow, like a dark shade and a light shade. And I feel like this could be the one for me. This in a light and a dark yellow, I would love that. Also, I love everything that's vertically striped. I just think it's so cute. And this is a very nice and new and refreshing way of constructing a sweater. Great work to whoever made this. Then, this is very unusual for me. Recently, I've been loving watching Knitted by Whitney's videos. She seems like such a nice person and she's so fun to watch. I love listening to her. And I wouldn't say that our styles are very similar. Like, it seems we aren't using very similar color palettes and like shades, but I saw her, I think it was one of her recent pattern roundup videos, and she was talking about the Talia sweater. And you know, I'm not super big into lace, but occasionally there comes a lace pattern that just gets me. And I think this is so pretty. It is dainty, but I just love the picot edges. And it looks to me like the stitch pattern would be very similar to the Barbara blouse, which I will be making as my next project probably. So I kind of want to make this too, like for spring, or now if it's still warm where you live, so it's not as drafty. I feel like lace lets through a lot of air, which I guess is the point. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm imagining this in a cobalt blue, like so bright it hurts your eyes. That could be so good. I love that. So thank you, Whitney. I don't think you're watching, but thanks for the rec. Like, this looks just insane. I love insane 80s sweaters. I haven't found a way to make them work for me, but I want to. I really want to. Also, what's up today with all of the patterns only being available in magazines and books? This is the Violet sweater by Patricia Roberts, and it's only available in a book. Like, come on. I really want to make this, except it's probably intarsia. But what I have learned about myself and intarsia is that I only hate intarsia if there's like balls attached to all of the yarns that I've got going. If it's just a very long piece of string that just dangles, it's much more manageable for me. I don't like the little bobbins and balls of yarn because they get tangled so easily. But if it's just a very long piece of string, you can just slide it out from the chaos that's going on. And that works especially well if there's very small intarsia motifs. And this one looks like it's very small, and you wouldn't need very much yarn for each of the little things. That is so cool. It's just colorful chaos. I love it. I will be going to hunt that book on eBay as soon as I'm done filming this. Another sweater that I found that's very similar to this is the 19-3 jumper with flower pattern by Drops. I was looking through Drops patterns because my mom gave me a sweater and I knew that that was a Drops pattern that she used, but I wanted to find out which one specifically in case anyone asked me. And I found the pattern that my mom made. I think it's called the Pastel Dream Sweater. But I also found this. And this is really cool. This is probably also from the 80s or 90s because that's the era of very busy fashion, I feel. And I love combining simple colorwork motifs with texture. Like, they have cables going on, they have moss stitch going on, but they also have colorwork going on. I think this is so cool, and I think we gotta start doing this again. And it doesn't have a single project on Ravelry. That's making me sad. Someone please make this. Because if not, I'm gonna be the one to make this. Right. I guess we have a shorter video today. But yeah, it's good that I'm not deluding myself into this very big amount of patterns that I'm telling myself to make. Also, the more patterns that I find that I don't have the time to make, the sadder I get. So currently I'm just 2 out of 10 sad, which is nice. So let me know what you are really wanting to make this fall and whether you actually have time to make all of the things that you want to make, because I feel like with most knitters, we never have enough time to make everything we want to make. And thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.